Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of OverVoice Season 3, and today I am joined by the wonderful Nick Wolfhard. Nick, would you like to introduce yourself, my friend?
Hi. My name is Nick Wolfhard. I'm a voice actor originally from Vancouver, Canada. I'm currently based in Los Angeles, but I go back and forth between the two. So I guess you could say I'm kind of based in both locations, but I am a voice actor. I've been one for about 10 years now. I already said I was
Nice.
a voice actor. uh, and yeah, I started in high school. I've been doing it ever since, and I've been loving it since the day I started. So,
Hell yeah.
mhm.
But yeah. Wait, Vancouver and Los Angeles. Damn, that's fucking
Yeah,
awesome, dude.
yeah. No, my family is based in Vancouver, so when I'm back here, I usually stay with them. And then yeah, I'm currently based in Los Angeles for the most part.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'm just out of curiosity, how far is Los Angeles to Vancouver?
it's only like 2.5 hours by plane. It's not too
Oh,
bad.
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
It's
really good.
it's
Yeah.
it's right by Seattle, so like it's almost just like a bus ride for me at this point.
Not fair enough. But yeah, my first question for you, Nick, is how'd you get into voice acting and what's your journey been like so far?
So I got into voice acting around when I was in middle school.
Ooh, hell
I
yeah.
was wondering, yeah, I was wondering what I wanted to kind of do. I was having like a sixth, like a seventh life crisis. Or like a tenth. I don't know. But but I didn't really want to do it. And my mom suggested taking voiceover classes, so that's what I did. I went to Shoreline. I started back in late 2012 with taking classes with Kirby Morrow, who was my mentor for a while, rest in peace.
Oh, rest in
And
peace, man. Yeah.
yeah, and he helped me make my demo and helped me get my agent. I was very lucky. And booked my first gig in 2014, so I've been doing this for about 10 years now. And it's been a cool ride so far. I'm been very glad. You know, it's I've been, always growing as an actor and learning new things and discovering new life experiences that I can add, to my process, taking lots of classes, and it's been going pretty well so far, I would say.
Hell yeah. Well, I would say it's going really well. So,
Oh, well,
hell,
thank you.
at least from my perspective. But yeah. Um, yeah, I saw Nick at a directing class a while ago. So my question to you, Nick, is are you also thinking to do more directing down the line?
I do definitely want to do some directing down the line. I'm glad I took that class because there was a lot of good notes I took.
Yeah.
But in voiceover, from what I understand, directing is almost something like you need to fall into. Like you
Yeah, it
almost need
really
to
is. Yeah.
you need to like talk to a studio first and like or like you need them to talk to you, and it can either come up by chance or it'll come up through connections and whatnot. But
Yeah.
no, I'm absolutely, open to it. I would say maybe I'm still too young to
Not fair enough.
consider
Yeah.
directing at the moment, but I mean, never say never. It's
Yeah, for
if
real.
if they offered for me to direct like next year, I'd put in a lot of preparation. But it's one of those things where in terms of comfortability, I don't think I would probably do it for, at least a couple years. That's me. But if again, it's like if I end up falling into it, it's like, well, you never know what'll happen. So,
Yeah, for real. But yeah, my next question to you is yeah, what was it like working on Fire Emblem?
oh man, it was so much fun.
Hell
It
yeah.
was, and also to be a part of that franchise and and that just like series of games and characters and meeting the fans. It was an absolute blast. It was a privilege, honestly, to be a part of that. To be a part of that franchise and to do it for Fire Emblem Heroes as well. And when we did a signing together to meet the whole cast, make friends through that. Me and Laura Stahl are pretty good friends now because she actually directed me on Goodbye Don't Glees.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's been really nice. And yeah, no, just an overall awesome experience. Okay, but yeah, no, it was a dream come true. It was fantastic.
Hell yeah. Hope your character makes it into Smash Bros at some point. That'd be
That'd be
nice.
awesome, like as a cameo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
even a full-fledged fighter, there's a lot of
yeah,
Fire Emblem characters in
yeah.
Smash.
Or if they bring spirits back. I could be a spirit.
Oh,
Are they
that'd be
like a
nice.
spirit you can unlock? Yeah,
That'd be really cool. Hell yeah.
yeah,
You know what? I'm sure they will for the next because they're working on the second Switch at the moment, right? So if they ever do another Smash Bros, then surely they gotta do it. I hope so. I'm fingers crossed.
yeah. No, yeah, yeah. We can only hope.
Yeah, when I bought the Switch way back, like I bought it for the sole purpose of predicting that there'll be a Smash game, and the year afterwards there was a Smash game announced. Like, oh, this is perfect, perfect timing.
Yeah. No, when Smash Ultimate came out, I was so hyped. I think I put over like 200, maybe 300 hours into that game.
Hey,
I
well,
uh
who's your main?
I think my main since Smash 4 has been Cloud.
Oh
I
yes,
think it's always been Cloud. I put a lot of time into Hero as well.
yeah.
But I kind of forgot how to play Hero because you kind of you need to focus while playing Hero. I kind of messed up a little bit by not playing for a while, and I tried to go back to it, and I was like, "Oh no,
Yeah, because
oh
Hero
I
has like
forgot."
so much. Like I playing Hero stresses me out because
Well,
like
because
you
it's
have
all because some of it's RNG based, right? Sorry to interrupt.
yeah. Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
all good. Yeah, you're all good.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was a main of like Terry Bogard. He's my main in Ultimate. Most of the fighting game characters are like Ryu, Ken, Kazuya. Some of the fighting game.
Terry's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Terry's so
I
much fun, man.
when I was
He's
in when
yeah.
I was in Japan, I played when the Sega arcades were still open before COVID. I managed to go to one in Ikebukuro, and I played KOF 14. Am I?
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, I played with Terry. I played like his whole team. So it was Terry. Was it Terry, Kyo, and is it Kyo? Is
Yeah,
that his
Kyo.
name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry, Kyo, and there's someone else. I forget who's usually
Who was
on
on
that
that
team,
team?
but he uses his legs a lot. He's almost like a
Yeah.
kickboxer.
Yeah, a
Do you know
little
who I'm
bit.
talking about? Yeah,
Yeah.
I forget.
Oh,
But
it's no, I know who you're talking about. I forget what his name is. Is he have like white clothing?
I think that's Kyo, isn't it?
Oh no, Kyo's
Uh
like the black like leather jacket and all that.
oh, that's the guy with the red hair. No, K. Let me see.
Oh no,
K.
no,
I'm gonna
no.
search this up right
Oh, sorry,
now.
Kyo's like the one with the brown hair. The one with the red hair is Iori, I think.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Kyo. Okay, yeah, Kyo, and he's like one of the most famous characters. How could I forget? So I have to apologize
No, it's all
for
good.
that.
This is all part of the
Uh,
process. No need to apologize, man.
I'm currently I'm currently on the wiki right now. I played a little bit of Billy Kane and Blue Mary, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Where is he?
Oh, is it Joe? Is that what his name is? He's got like so like he's got like no shirt, but like the shorts and like the bandana
Yeah,
guns.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's Joe Hisashi? No, wait, that's a Virtual Fighter character.
I think it's Joe
Uh
like
Joe
Higashi.
Higashi?
Yeah, that guy. That should be him.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
That's
we
him.
got
Joe
him. Let's
Higashi. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hell yeah.
Joe Hisashi. I don't think Joe. Maybe I got Joe Hisashi wrong. Who's Joe? Oh, who's Joe Hisashi? Oh, he's the Studio Ghibli composer. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Or he composed a lot for Studio Ghibli. That's why I said Joe Hisashi. It's Joe Higashi.
It's
All right.
very similar names to be fair, so I don't blame
Yeah.
you. But yeah, I my next question for you, Nick, is yeah, what was it like? Because you see you grew up in Vancouver, right? So like, what was it
Yeah.
like? What was it like going from like Vancouver to LA and all that?
Well, I was in LA a lot as a little kid. I have a lot of family friends there. So it's almost kind of been like a second home to me in a lot of ways. Um, LA is very concretey. I mean, while Vancouver is very green, and LA can be very green too. Where and Vancouver, has concrete here. It's kind of like, but just on a much bigger scale, right?
Yeah,
So the transition wasn't too tough. Because I'd been here already. I've been in LA already so much. I'm back in Vancouver right now, but I'm going to be heading back to LA soon. And it was it was lonely at first, but then I cultivated kind of a friend group so far, which has been going nicely. Um, and no, I'm very lucky to be in the position I'm in right now because I also do voice work in Vancouver as well. So I go back and forth when need be. I do miss how easy it is, I guess, in Vancouver, because in Vancouver during the summer, it's like one of the best places you can be, in my honest opinion.
Yeah.
It's so gorgeous. Not in the winter.
Yeah, I hear it's very
Not in the
cold.
well, yeah, it's about the same as Seattle, but yeah, it can get very cold. And like in the summer, you know, you can go to the lakes that are nearby, or you know, you can go camping. And you know, you can go camping around LA too very easily, and you can go hiking as well. But it's harder to reach lakes, I feel like, and
Yeah.
also just that kind of Pacific Northwest vibe I really like. I mean, LA is awesome in the summer too. Like I love, you know, Malibu and Topanga and all that. Um and I really like this neighborhood. Laurel Canyon. It might be Laurel Canyon. I
Ooh, yeah.
sometimes like I sometimes like I think like take the bus like through there or something like that, because there's like a route that goes through there, and it's like this big hill, and it's gorgeous. It's almost like a forest.
Hell yeah.
It's like my favorite bus route in Los Angeles. I don't drive, so I still take public transport.
Not fair.
Um yeah, but that's what I do. So I guess TLDR, it wasn't too much of a change in terms of like just transitioning to Los Angeles. But you know, they both got their ups and downs. Los Angeles, the one thing I guess I don't like is that it's like so hard to get from one place to the other because it's so big.
Yeah.
Vancouver, I don't, for a reason I don't really like, is because it just gets so annoying in the winter. And
Yeah. That's fair.
also, yeah, and also it's, I don't know, and it can get to a point where there's just not much to do, whereas in LA there is a lot more to do.
That's fair. Yeah.
Um but I guess that also comes from my experience of just living here for so long
Yeah, that makes
in
sense. Yeah.
Vancouver. So but yeah, that's essentially
Hell
what's
yeah.
going on with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you mentioned camping before, and like, as someone who's never been to like America yet, because I live all the way in New Zealand, so like it's very small.
Always wanted to go to New Zealand.
Hell, you
Yeah,
should.
I was
I'll give you a tour,
yeah,
man.
that'd be yeah, no, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I was trying to figure out if you were from Australia or New Zealand, because in New Zealand I've noticed that the A's are a lot pronounced a lot more like E's
That's true.
compared to
Yeah.
Australia. Yeah. And I
Uh,
yeah.
one of my friends, she's from the UK, and she like points out that like eggs, right? Like eggs in a basket.
Yeah.
We pronounce it as eggs. So it's it's so funny. Like
Yeah,
I
you're the E's are almost pronounced like I's, and the A's are pronounced almost like E's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Australia and New Zealand's very kind of similar, but I think there's like at this point I can kind of like tell how different Aussie accents are to New Zealand. I think Aussie is a bit more I don't know, there's like three different kinds of Aussie accents, but with New Zealand is like maybe like one, two ish.
Yeah, like I found that accents from Sydney are a lot stronger than like accents from somewhere like Perth, for example.
Yeah,
And then accents from like Melbourne are like in between almost,
yeah.
at least from what I can tell. Yeah. My friend Michael is from Melbourne, and I have some friends who are originally from Perth as well. Uh Online friends anyway, and they yeah, it's really interesting. It's like the more, what is it, east, northeast. I don't know. I
I
would have
think
to
so.
look at a map, but like it seems like, yeah, the closer to Sydney you get, and then you go up, what is it, the Gold Coast?
Yeah, I
Uh
think that sounds yeah. Gold Coast. That sounds about right. Yeah,
yeah, the more you go up there, I guess because Brisbane's there too, right? Yeah,
yeah,
the more you're kind of in that area, the more you kind of get like very much like almost like stronger accents, kind of
yeah,
like kind of like what you hear in Bluey. At least the mom, Chili,
yeah,
she has like a very, I feel like, because I think that show is supposed to be set around Brisbane. I think that's what it's based on, but
yeah.
I could be
I know it's
wrong.
based in Australia, but I don't remember which city it
I
was.
think it might be Brisbane, but I
Yeah,
could be wrong. But uh yeah, I think it's really interesting because in the well, because like in the UK, it's there's so many different like accents that have just these little changes, whereas I mean in Canada, it's, I don't think it's nowhere near as that like complex. You have like an accent that's like kind of from the Maritimes, and then you have kind of an Ontario, Saskatchewan-ish accent, and then you kind of have a BC accent, which is more subtle in the city, but like I guess the more north you go, the more noticeable it gets.
ah, yeah,
Um, yeah. but so it's like more subtle. So I guess Australia's kind of like that from as far as I can tell. Whereas the UK is like it's the accents can be so distinct, or
Yeah.
they can be very subtle. And because it's just, yeah, it's very, very interesting to see just like all the different accents.
Also, I gotta ask, cause I know Vancouver is like it's in British Columbia, right? That's like the it's
Yeah,
like
we're like the most west province you can get.
yeah. I wonder. I've been just curious, like why is it called British Columbia? Are you guys actually British in Columbia over there?
No, so I think it goes back to I don't know. I think it goes back to like the monarchy probably.
Oh,
Cuz
yeah,
like
probably.
because Australia and New Zealand are also like part of that whole thing,
Oh
right?
yeah, it's right. You guys are part of the Commonwealth as well.
The
Yeah,
Commonwealth, not the monarchy, the Commonwealth. Yeah, excuse me.
yeah,
Um, but I'm assuming it has to do something with that.
yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, to be completely honest, I really should have paid more attention to in history when I was in 11th grade. My strong classes were biology
Yeah.
and I was good at math
Oh,
and
lucky.
everything. Yeah. And I did my best. I actually, you know what? No, it's just because I don't remember. In social studies classes I did get good grades.
Yeah,
For sure. But it's been so long that I would have to look it up. I honestly can't remember, but yeah, I'm assuming it has to do with the Commonwealth. That's
yeah.
yeah. I
Because
mean,
like,
because yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, sorry. I was gonna say like, because I hear like, there's like so many like other countries' names and like other countries that make sense. So, you got British Columbia, and in America there's New England. Like, what happened to the old England? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like New York and York. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that. Well, it's oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. Dang. Well, it's kind of like, oh, well, I do know that. I mean, Canada only gained independence, I think, from the Queen in 1982.
Oh,
So that's how
wow.
kind of so that's kind of how new of a country we are.
That's
New, well,
insane. I thought you guys were
yes.
be a bit older than that. That's
No,
crazy.
no, it's I mean, we are older than that, but we didn't actually have, I guess, independence from or something. Again, I would have to do more research, but yeah, no, it's yeah, it's wild.
Hell yeah. But yeah, just to go back to what we said about camping a little bit, like I've never been to the US, so like I feel like it'll be a big old camping trip for me personally, because like everything's so much bigger over there. So
It's
like,
true, it
yeah,
is. No, it really is. I mean, you again, like you compare somewhere like London, like the UK, where all the streets are, a lot smaller, and you can take kind of public transit anywhere, which actually I kind of prefer. Whereas in the US, well, there are walkable cities in the US, I would say. There's good public transit systems, like especially in like New York. Um, but like somewhere in LA, it's like the streets are and sidewalks are huge, and it's hard to it can be hard to get around. Toronto, I guess, is similar in that regard. Because from what I can hear, it can be dangerous to take public transit in Toronto. I mean LA as well, but I always just hear from my friends, like, because we have in Toronto, they have these streetcars, and they're like, don't get on the streetcar. I'm like, why? And it's like, it can be dangerous. I'm like, okay. But yeah, it's kind of it's interesting. I do kind of prefer how in like the UK, well, at the very least London, and also Japan, how easy it is to just public transit everywhere. And I
yeah,
guess New York too, by an extension. Um that's a good example. Vancouver also has really good public transit, now I think about it.
yeah.
It's
But I know with the UK, especially like you can just go on trains and just go to France or
Yeah, it's awesome. It like
Italy. Yeah,
yeah, countries are almost like states there, just in terms of like distance. It's very cool how
yeah.
you can just go, and it's like you want to go to Italy from like the UK, it's like $50. It's like or like
It's
60, it's like
crazy.
or like 60 pounds or whatever. But yeah, no, it's to have that convenience is so nice in terms of just like vacationing. But it also is like, in a way, it's very interesting because Canada is very much kind of almost like one, like, not biodome, but like, you know what I mean. I
Yeah.
can't find the word. I've been so tired. I've been all over the place. But
That's all good.
but it's all, you know, like we have a desert in northern BC, believe it or not, around like the Okanagan, around this place called Kamloops, I think, or Osoyoos, and that stretches all the way down to the US, but it's mostly forests and lakes, whereas in the US it's definitely more of a diverse environment. But you can't even compare it, honestly, to the Europe. Like you really can't. It's so, and not just because of the geography, but also just culturally too. Like it's so varied and vast. It's just so awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Um,
Yeah.
you mentioned that you started out voiceover when you were in middle school, so around 2012. Um,
Yeah, I would say late 2012. Yeah.
yeah. So like, I'm just curious, like, what did you have? Like, was there like any like cartoons or movies or video games that kind of inspired you to get into it?
Well, I really got into it through I watched a lot of Dragon Ball.
Oh
Uh
hell yeah!
I started watching Bleach right around the same time I started doing voiceover classes. Gurren Lagann I started watching. That really, helped me get into it more. Cuz it's like, yeah, throw logic to the whole thing is like throw logic to the wind. If you hit rock bottom, the only place you can go is up, and like, that really spoke to me because it's like, just do it. If that's what you want to do, like, go for it kind of thing. It's like do the impossible. Uh do the impossible, see the what are the lyrics? I can't remember. Row row fight the power. That's the
Yeah,
lyrics in the song, yeah.
hell yeah.
But yeah. Those are the three big ones. And then as a kid I always watched SpongeBob, and I watched like every cartoon growing up. I could name so many. Kids Next Door,
Yes.
SpongeBob, Gurren Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Uh, there's
Aren't they like rebooting that soonish as of right now? Something like that.
Foster's.
Yeah, there's like a new thing with like Blue as like the main guy. I think it's
I
like a
think they're doing a preschool show. Yeah,
oh, it's a
I
preschool show.
yeah,
Interesting.
which I think is actually a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a really neat idea. I think they could do a lot of fun things with that concept. Yeah, I think it was announced recently, right? At
Yeah,
like
like a couple weeks ago,
I
I
heard
think.
because I remember hearing about it like recently. But yeah, that's really neat. But yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just so many cartoons. I like Gravity Falls. I think I watched around the same
Oh,
time.
Gravity. I love Gravity Falls.
That was around
Hell
like
yeah.
2014. I think I finally watched all of it. It was amazing. Last Airbender, I binged in 2014. I meant to watch it and space it out, but I couldn't stop watching, so I did it. And then I'm trying to think. There's this Canadian cartoon called 16 that I loved watching
Oh
growing
my
up.
God, 16. I
Oh, you
love
know
six.
16. And then yeah,
Yeah.
Total Drama Island. I watched that, which is by the same
Yes.
creators.
Yeah,
Yeah, all
love
right.
both
So
of
I'm glad
them.
I'm glad to know. Yeah, those shows are really popular. I'm surprised because there were a lot of banned episodes of 16 in the US that they
Yeah.
never got, but you probably did.
Actually,
Um,
no. We probably didn't get it for a while. There's a couple episodes on Total Drama Island that they weren't really banned, but they were censored. So like we had like some really
right.
weird cuts. Then I watched like
Oh, interesting.
then if you watch it on New Zealand Netflix, it's uncensored. So you can like see everything. I'm like, oh my god, they've cut so much. Oh
Yeah,
my
they cut
god.
a yeah, I know. I don't know where I don't know, maybe 16 is on New Zealand Netflix now too. I'm not exactly sure.
Maybe I'll have to double check. But
But it's
16,
like
it was all
they
like it
cut a
was
couple episodes,
yeah.
yeah, because of like CRTC regulations are different from the FGC or FCC are different
FCC.
from FGC is the fighting
Fighting game
game
community.
community, yeah. Uh, but yeah, no, that's why that happened with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But
anyway, I watched a lot of cartoons.
hell yeah. But yeah, you mentioned Dragon Ball before, and since you're a Dragon Ball fan, I gotta ask, what's your favorite Dragon Ball fight?
My favorite one? Oh, geez. I really like the first. I probably Frieza. I don't
Oh
know. I
yeah.
I really like Goku versus Frieza. I like Gohan versus Cell a lot. I also really like the new fight, the Broly versus Goku and Vegeta, or Broly and Gogeta. That fight's
Yeah.
incredible. But if I had to pick my favorite, probably Goku versus Frieza. That's probably my
Hell yeah.
favorite. I think a close second is probably Goku versus Vegeta, maybe Gohan versus Cell. Gohan versus Cell is so good.
It's top tier. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not quite sure. It's hard to pick, but yeah, I think Goku versus Frieza is my favorite. I
That's a
would
good
say.
pick. My favorite's Vegito versus Buhan, because like just the mollywop for like a couple.
Oh, that was a fun fight where he was just like murking him the whole time.
Yeah, and he
And then
like his little candy for a bit and whipping his ass, you know.
yeah, and then you could that was awesome because like the only way he could beat him is if he ate him.
Yeah.
And it's like he still didn't. Spoilers for Dragon Ball, by the way.
It's all right. Dragon Ball's like over 30 years old. It's fine.
Yeah, it's true. Well, if you count the original, yeah, it's like it's like over 40.
Yeah.
Or it's like around 40. Yeah. Wow. I'm very much looking forward to Sparking Zero because I love Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Yes, that's coming out.
I played so much of it, and I'm gonna say it's looking like it's gonna be the best one.
Yeah, honestly,
it looks so good.
I've seen the gameplay. The environment changes look sick. Oh man.
Yeah, there's so much customization. I am beyond hyped for it, and it comes out right around my birthday, so I can ask for it for my birthday if I want. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know which character I'm gonna main in that game. There's like so many characters. I don't know.
The thing about the Tenkaichi games that's so cool compared to like normal fighting games where it's all like kind of balanced is that you probably do you know about this? The Tenkaichi games go by, or I guess the Sparking games. I guess they're calling it Sparking Zero now because that was the name it always was in Japan, was Sparking. But the games go by series logic in that the weaker a character is, the weaker they'll be against like a really strong character. Yeah. So like if you fight, if you play like Yamcha and you try to fight Beerus or like Omega Shenron, like you're gonna get your butt kicked. That's kind of that's I think the older games did that as well. Could be wrong, but I think that's what they did for Tenkaichi 3 as well. I'm very excited.
For what I've seen of Sparking Zero so far, everything seems kind of balanced, but like there hasn't been like a super weak character versus like another strong character. Because I know there's Cybermen in the game, but I haven't like seen them go up against Beerus or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
As far as I know.
Well, it's gonna make for some really interesting content, I think. At least in terms of like streaming and YouTube videos. I could easily see people being like doing like a speed run of the game. 100%, like speaking of which, SGDQ is going on right now. If anyone cares, you should go watch SGDQ. I believe it ends on Sunday. It's donating to a good cause. I'm not participating in any way, but I like speedrunning a lot, and I've been watching that event for years. So that being said, it would be interesting to see someone do like a Cybermen any percent run against like every character in the game, and see what happens. Because I feel like that'd be really fun and really challenging.
Yeah, someone's definitely gonna do it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I hope, there's gonna be some fun stuff to come out of it.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of characters to be revealed still, which is crazy.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, if it's a Budokai Tenkaichi game, then
yeah, Budokai 3 had like so many, but like
Budokai 3 I think had 105 characters. Sorry to interrupt. I think it had
don't apologize, Ben. You're all good.
Oh yeah. It had about 100. I think it had about 105. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but this new one, because they have variations of the same character, like they did in Budokai, where they had like Goku beginning, Goku mid, Goku end. And I think in this game, in Sparking Zero, not only do they have the variations, but once you click the character, you can actually choose costume variations of that variation. And then if you choose a certain costume variation, they'll have certain moves that other variations won't have.
Yeah.
So you'll have a variation in the variation that another variation won't have, which I think is so cool. There is so much to do and unlock here. I'm very much looking forward to it, because I would say Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Well, that and I think Fighters. Those are my two favorite. Those are my two favorites. Sparking Zero is probably, I think, is going to take the top spot. I can kind of already tell. But like Fighters is so its own thing. It's like so much like a fighting game. I think Fighters is one of the best 3v3 fighting games I've ever played.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree. Yeah.
So I'm very excited. I
Yeah,
played them
they
so much as a kid.
and they finally got their rollback netcode for what I saw, and it's like,
Yeah, and I've heard it's really good too. They
yeah,
I don't think is it out officially yet for fighters? I know they beta tested it on Steam, I think.
I think it's officially out now, as far as I know. It's been a while since I last
Oh, okay,
checked
sweet.
in,
Okay,
but
that's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember because that was like a huge shock to everyone, which was, and I'm so happy they did that, which was very cool.
hell yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, Fighters is such a beautiful game.
no, it is.
Like the one-to-one references for like each like move and shit. Oh man, it's great.
Yeah, the dramatic finishes are great. Like the stage specific endings or the character specific endings are all awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I started playing. I think I started playing a bit more Xenoverse as of recent. But then again, I started
Right.
playing.
I played a lot of Xenoverse.
Yeah, but I started playing Xenoverse back in like 2015, and then
Yeah,
Xenoverse 2 came
same.
out. Xenoverse 2 is still going, which is insane.
It is, yeah. It's they still do promotions for it, which I guess makes sense. It's almost like an MMO at this point.
Yeah, they're
It's
on fucking DLC pack 17 right now. So it's really funny because like they said like when they released Oob and into GT into Z Goku, I mean, and like they said that was gonna be the last DLC, but then we're 7 DLCs later. We're
No,
here.
exactly. And I'm glad they're still doing that. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep doing that when Sparking Zero comes out, unless they've already announced that that they're stopping development for it once Sparking Zero comes out, but I have no idea.
Maybe. But I
I'd have
honestly
to look it up.
I kind of doubt it. I feel like they're gonna keep adding more characters, because I feel like
Who
Xenoverse is
yeah,
gonna have like a bigger roster than
I think it already I
Tenkaichi. Unless it has
may
already. Yeah.
it might already. I mean, I think that's also just because like Xenoverse 2 has been out so long. It's been out since like 2017, so it's had so
Yeah.
much time to like build up characters and updates and everything. Who who developed Xenoverse? Was it CyberConnect? Because I think Spike Chunsoft is doing Sparking Zero, right? Because they were the developers for
Yeah.
the.
I think that's
That
right.
sounds. I
That
think
sounds about
so.
that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, I could be wrong though. Spike Chunsoft might have done it all.
Maybe.
But yeah, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, so it's probably two. I think it's probably two different development teams. Maybe there's some crossover here and there to get advice from one or the other.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but like yeah, no, I'm curious to see what they'll do with Xenoverse 2. In terms of like once Sparking Zero comes out, is that going to be the game going forward, or they like, I mean it is, but are they still going to keep updating Xenoverse 2 because people like keep playing it? Like it's cuz again, like it's almost like an MMO at this point.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I feel like we'll get Xenoverse 3 when we get GTA 8. It's at this point.
oh, I don't know. Well, I think it's probably going to be sooner than that. I think eventually. I mean, that's just me speculating. I think it'll
Yeah.
probably be sooner than that. Because
Maybe.
of
But
how
yeah.
successful the Xenoverse games have been, and also, yeah. I mean, who knows? Who really knows? Honestly.
My next question for you is have you had the chance to like visit around Canada, or have you just mainly been like through Vancouver and Toronto the most?
So I've been to Alberta. I've been to Banff, which is absolutely gorgeous in the summer. Never been in the winter. I've been to Calgary. Um, but honestly, yeah, outside of that, mostly just Toronto and Vancouver, and also in BC. I've been around BC, like Kelowna, which is more up north. The Kootenays. I'm trying to think. Nelson, BC. I've been to. Um, like I said, the Okanagan, which Kelowna's kind of part of, I think. Osoyoos, I've driven through. Kamloops. Those are kind of the bigger towns, I guess, in BC. Hope, I guess, which is where Rambo was shot, First Blood.
Oh, cool.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that was shot there, and they still call it Hope. But it's funny because like the movie is set in Hope. It's very clearly Hope. They even call it Hope, but it's set in like the U.S. So it's
Ah.
really, yeah. So it's like really interesting because it's like oh, I know that place, but and it's the same name, but it's somewhere else. It's interesting.
It's weird. There's a show on Amazon called The Boys. It's filmed in
Oh yeah,
Toronto. In
yeah,
Toronto,
yeah. It
but it's
is.
based in America, which is also kind of
Yeah,
similar.
no, well, that's the thing is that Canada rarely plays itself unless it's like Scott Pilgrim. They
Okay.
shoot so much in Vancouver and Toronto, but yeah, it rarely ever plays itself, which
Yeah,
is very interesting.
have you seen The Boys? Like, have you caught up on it?
No, I have not seen The Boys, but my dad like read, I think, all the comics.
Oh, so did mine. So did mine. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like when I was in like elementary school, middle school, and high school, like my dad bought like every single one. Yeah,
Damn.
and even like the spin-offs too. So like he bought like Highland Laddie and all that stuff. Yeah.
Wow. That's fucking incredible. But I will say, as someone who did read the comics as well, I think the TV show is infinitely better. I will say.
Oh yeah. No, I wouldn't I need to watch it. I really do. Yeah, I've heard it's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, the acting is really great. But yeah, there's lot of a lot of weird stuff in there, so just putting that
Yeah.
out there.
Gotcha. No, I've heard.
But yeah, it's a really fun show. Um,
Awesome.
but yeah, I haven't been to Canada yet, but I would love to. I was actually thinking about moving to Canada a while ago. Um, but I think it fell through because of like the strikes and stuff at the time, and also just personal reasons. But
Gotcha.
I feel like I would like to be there for like 2 years and come back because thankfully like New Zealand and Canada are like really buddy, so I can just be there for 2 years and come back, and it should be all good. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd
Yeah.
be pretty fun. I do have a little bit of family over there, so it'd be nice to visit.
Oh,
And
you
my
do? That's cool.
yeah, and one of my friends, he's in America right now, but he goes to Canada a lot. He visits Vancouver pretty frequently, and he says it's always amazing. So
Yeah.
I'll have to
Where
take him
where's
up on
your
that.
where's your family based, if you don't mind me asking? Where in Canada?
Yeah, so we have some family based in Toronto, and then we have a little bit of family in Vancouver. I think it's Victoria Island, or is it something like
Or
that?
Vancouver Island. Yeah,
Vancouver
Victoria is the
Island.
cap. Victoria is the capital of BC. Yeah. That's kind
Yeah,
of yeah, yeah. It's UVic. Some of my friends go there.
hell
The
yeah,
university, yeah.
hell yeah, dude. But yeah, I also know you got to work with my friend Thomas on Cabin Tales. So
Yeah, that was
yeah,
a lot of fun.
hell yeah. What was
Yeah.
working on that like, my dude?
I was nervous because it was my first time ever doing an audio drama. Um, but
Oh
I think I
really?
gave him I created I didn't create the character. He created the character, but I did a lot of character work, and I think I gave him everything that he wanted, and I had a lot of fun doing it, and getting into that headspace. It was a great first experience. It was unlike anything I've done before in terms of both like the process, but also kind of the story too. It was
Yeah,
very dark.
yeah.
Yeah. And it was very, very cool. I said something on Twitter recently, which was actually eat lots of barbecue. It's 4th of July. And then they posted Arthur No or whatever. It was
Oh
my
my
character. I was
god.
like, not that kind. Yeah, not that kind. Yeah.
Oh man, but
If you see if
I
you've
did
seen that or heard that, you know what that's referencing. But
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe more people should listen to it. It's really good. I
Yeah, it's
didn't
awesome.
I
Thomas is
didn't
great.
yeah, I love Thomas. I didn't know that was your first audio drama. You could have fooled me, honestly. You did
Oh,
actually.
thank you.
Yeah, you did
Oh,
really
thank you
well,
so
man.
much. Thank you.
Yeah, hope you get to come back for Cabin Tales more if they end up doing more of it, but we'll see.
Oh yeah. Oh
Um
yeah.
but but yeah. But yeah, my last question for you, Nick. You've been an amazing guest so far.
Oh, well, thank
Um
you.
yeah, and I was
Well,
gonna
you've
and
been an amazing host.
oh, thank you. I say so far, but like, I don't that kind of implies that something bad's gonna happen, but I don't think
Yeah.
that never happens.
What's gonna happen?
But yeah, my last question for you, Nick, is as like an actor who's been doing this for a while, my question is, what keeps you going?
What keeps me going is the belief that I will keep having these amazing experiences with the characters that I help bring to life. I've been told, my like I've had the belief for a long time now that my job is to audition. Booking is the icing on the cake.
Yeah,
And you have to, and I know that's easy to say, because it's like, if you're lacking money and funds, and I definitely know what that's like. But honestly, like it really is like just such an amazing thing to do, to just um you know bring these characters to life through through your interpretations of it, through the settings that you have, whether it's intentional or not, as long as it's it's just it's just such an awesome process, and like that you're connected to it. um it's it's very fun, and I've been at this a long time, but I'm still learning. I And it's the whole thing is just never stop learning. in terms of booking, in terms of auditioning, in terms of just life in general, to be completely honest. It's but yeah, no, to keep me going is also because I just have fun with it, you know? Because I have fun with it, and because it's just such a amazing process, like, I couldn't really imagine myself doing anything else. Um, it's such a pleasure to be able to do what I do, and, you know, I've said before, I've always said that, like, even if you can't make a living at it, and you really genuinely enjoy doing it, just keep it as a hobby, you know?
Yeah.
Eventually, one of these, you know, and it's like, eventually, one of these days, you very well might be able to make a living off of it, and if you can't, then, hey, at least you still love it and you're doing it, right?
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
you know, it should be something that you're it needs to be something that you're passionate about, that you wanna keep learning about, that, you know, it just makes your day. And,
Yeah.
you know, we're all gonna have off days, of course, but if that's, you know, the life you choose, if that's the thing you want to do, then, you know, go for it, whether it's a job or not, you know?
Hell yeah.
It's yeah, but it's kind of sorry, it's kind of a long-winded,
Hey, don't
answer, but
apologize,
it's
man. It's you can be as long-winded as possible. It's don't even worry, man.
yeah. It's the Canadian in me. I keep apologizing. Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
guess
just
oh,
I
it's right.
default to it. It's just a yeah, it's just a default option. Um, but yeah, no, it's very much like just, uh, it's almost therapeutic. It's very, you know, especially it can almost be therapeutic. It can also just be like sometimes, you know, I'll do auditions where I'll have like a whole process. Other times I will know immediately what to do. I'll like, you know, and I'll like picture the setting in my head. Um, but the thing is, you know, because I've taken, you know, a lot of classes and I still take classes. Because you know, I got to a point where I wanted to learn, you know, as much as I could. And basically take what you take what works for you, apply that to your own process. Um, because you know the fact of the matter is just you know not everything that you learn is going to work specifically for you, but there's going to be stuff that definitely will. So whatever works, try to figure out like a system or experiment, or you know some people just hit the ground running already.
Yeah.
There's always new stuff to learn, and you know maybe some people don't need a process. You can also just like because I used to do that. I would you know and sometimes I still do. It really just depends on the character and the setting and everything. um and I booked characters doing that, you know? I booked characters you know, putting a lot of putting thought into it though too, you know? Like putting a lot of like, you know, the wants and the whys and you know, the setting and how far am I from another character and you know, the emotional dilemma and all the layers that go with that and if the tone is right and you know how long the show's been going, what do the other characters sound like, who's the casting director cast before, what's the writer done, what's the director done. There's so much you can do,
Yeah.
but the most important thing is what works for you and are you having fun. That's all that, and at the end of the day for me anyway, for doing voiceover, that's what matters most.
Hell yeah.
So that's my answer for that.
And I think that's a really good answer. Always gonna have fun, man. Like, and it's
Yeah,
okay. And it's okay not to
and
have
I
fun as well. It happens,
yeah,
you know.
it's not the I know. Yeah, absolutely. We all have our off days. And I know it's not like the most original answer, but the reason it's so common is because it's true.
It's exactly. If
Yeah, yeah, you gotta have fun. You gotta do what you do. I think I think I'm not trying to compare myself to Bryan Cranston, but I think Bryan Cranston said something similar once where I think he talked about how as soon as I stopped caring about booking, that's when he started booking. So
ooh, you
yeah,
know
which is
that's
and
fair.
that does and I mean, like, in you know, and obviously he didn't I don't know if he elaborated on that, but in my opinion, that doesn't mean just, like, throw everything to the wind and just do what you wanna do. Obviously, you know, with you gotta keep it within reason,
Yeah.
but, you know, in terms of, like, you know, keeping yourself in the mix as well as, you know, just because they wanna hear you, you know?
Yeah.
They wanna hear what you can do, and it's always been, like for me, it's always been kind of a balancing act, and I've walking that tightrope is, you know, depending on the project, it can be long, it can be short, it can be zigzaggy, it can depend on preference, or sometimes you'll just have to make an educated guess because the show won't be out yet, you'll
Yeah.
have very little details to work with, sometimes you just gotta go with it.
Yeah,
Um,
sometimes you gotta like make your own vision and see if the director likes it. You know?
yeah, exactly. No, totally. I mean, yeah, of course you know what I'm talking about. You're at
Yeah,
this too.
man.
Yeah, man. Of course. Um, but yeah, um, that's that's more just so to anyone listening who wants to get into this. But um, that's essentially that's my answer.
Yeah, I find it interesting
Yeah.
about the not caring part. I think you can. I think for me, it's like you care about putting your all into the edition, but like you don't make it. You don't care to the point where it's like the
It's
end all with the end all be all. You know what I mean?
yeah. That's I think that's what he meant. It's like I think not caring, but it's more like not worrying so much.
Yeah,
It's like you're worrying so much and you're so in your own head about it. I think that's what he meant.
yeah, I think so.
I know,
Yeah,
and I think I was probably paraphrasing, but it was like, you just gotta kind of go with the flow.
yeah,
That's kind of the answer.
yeah. Because
But yeah,
you cannot predict like things happening. You know here. You know.
no, it's like, yeah, and sometimes for me anyway, it's just uh I try my best to figure out what's going on in the scene, but um sometimes it can be impossible because they don't, there's no context given. It could be from line to line to line to line. So what I do is I like to read the description, figure out the context of who the character is, what the relationships they have, what areas they will be in, and I will create a scenario around that if I'm not given the context myself. So I'll get like as close as possible. um you know or sometimes there really is just nothing. So that that can be depending. Again, it can be a guessing game, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's like you really have to sometimes you just have to guess. You just have to really create something in your head and just send it off.
yeah.
That's you just got
Send
to
and
do it
forget.
sometimes.
Yeah,
No,
send and
exactly.
forget.
Send and forget. I am still learning that lesson to this day.
Oh, me too. I tried. I always try
Oh,
to forget.
it's so hard.
Yeah,
It's so
man.
hard.
It's like because
Yeah.
everything because I get really attached to like my editions, so it's like
No, I
oh,
know, yeah.
it's like
Well,
oh
that's
my.
yeah. No, that's yeah, but that's the thing, right? It's like you just got to send and forget because your mind will just be so occupied by it. And
Yeah,
yeah,
for real.
yeah, but it's tough. It's tough, but it's doable. Takes a long time to learn,
Yeah,
to convince yourself, but yeah.
yeah. But yeah, on that note, this interview comes to a close. Nick, thank you so much for coming and for being an awesome guest, dude.
Thank you so much for having me. Sorry I don't have my normal microphone and my whole setup right now.
No, you're all good,
Next
man.
time, next time I will try to have that if there
Hell
is a
yeah.
next time.
Oh, there
But
definitely will
yes,
be next time. We gotta have the squeakquel at some point. I don't know when
the
that will be.
squeakle. All right. All right.
But yeah. Just to put some context here, Nick has rescheduled his flights to be here, so that makes him like the most dedicated to the series.
Well, I what I mean, I don't did I rescheduled. So, oh man, I'm trying to remember what happened. It's been such a whirlwind. I rescheduled my flight. That is okay. You know what? You're right. You're 50% right. Because it
Hell
was
yeah.
I wanted to be here for this interview. Well, I just want to be honest. Because like
Yeah.
I don't want to, just like mislead anyone. 50% was this interview. Another 50% was having to wait to see what's going on regarding
Yeah.
something scheduling wise. And but I was like, oh no, but then I was like, no, I gotta be here.
Oh,
Because
thank you,
no, I
man.
do, because it's like I already have the scheduled, and I already moved it to Friday. And I'm like, I can't move it anymore, so I have to be here, so do it now. But it's only fair, it's only polite. So
Oh, you
it's
honor me, man. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, it's but yes, I guess in a way I guess I did.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah, yeah.
But Nick, where can people find you on social media and stuff?
So I'm on Instagram at the Wolfhard, and I'm on Twitter at Nick double underscore Wolfhard.
Hell
That's
yeah.
where I'm at. And
Awesome.
yeah.
Do you have a voiceover website? I can put that in the description as well.
Yes, an I have a Adobe portfolio site.
Oh, hell yeah.
I just
Cool.
recently updated it. I'm trying to remember what the URL is. Let me go ahead. Uh,
Oh
hang
yeah,
on.
just I reckon send me the URL for our chat and I'll remember to put it in.
Oh, I see. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah. I'll go ahead and do that then.
You're okay. Man, so everything on here. But yeah, thank you again for coming on. It's been an absolute honor and privilege to have you. And yeah, we'll see you guys for the next interview. Bye, everybody.
Take care. Bye.